Welcome back to Blog Access 101. I'm your host, Young Abachi. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify by searching Blog Access 101. This is episode 223. Here today, my co-host, Bobby. What up, Bobby?
What up, Rob? How you doing today?
Pretty good yourself. We first get started with Jerry Jones being the dick that he is, that still hasn't signed CeeDee Lamb. I think they said they got him. They got the latest offer they gave him was 33 million. Would have 33 million a year, which would make him the second highest paid receiver in the league. I think that's reasonable. I don't think he's better than Justin Jefferson. Um, Obviously he probably would want more because he what value he brings to the Cowboys and showing that he is the clearer number one. I said last year I thought he was a solid number two, but he proved me wrong. He showed me that he could be a solid wide receiver one. Um,
Needs to learn how
without
to
too
hit it
much
with
help.
his hands.
Yeah, he definitely was driving a line in the playoffs, which cannot
Shout out to
continue
Michael
to happen.
Irvin. Shout out to Michael Irvin.
But yeah, and I remember early on when the media asked Jerry Jones like about the sign with CeeDee Lamb, he was talking about he's not in a rush, which led to CD put on Twitter, LOL. Um, I think Jerry Jones, uh, always has to be in the spotlight and be made the focal point, which is why I think he eventually needs to step down if we ever want to win another Super Bowl. Like he got us through the '90s, but he's really the reason we're being held back in this decade in the
Jerry
2000s.
Jones is becoming Al Davis in his later years.
Yeah,
We saw
it's
we
like
saw how Al Davis like kind of
kill the Raiders. Yeah.
not even I'm not gonna say kill the Raiders, but just thinking. He's getting older. So I agree, yes, he needs to step down.
He
But
reminds
the
me of James Dolan of the NFL.
Yeah, but the one thing about Jerry Jones stepping down, once he steps down, guess what's going to happen? His health's
I
going
hope
to
it ain't son.
yeah, his health's going to deteriorate more.
Yeah, like the
And then
paternal effect,
then
unfortunately.
it also goes to his son, so we know how that works.
Yeah,
But
terrible.
with the whole CeeDee Lamb contract, let me just bring up these receivers because I know CeeDee Lamb, he obviously says he wants to get paid, be the highest paid, but I'm going to name a few receivers that are better than CeeDee Lamb. We named
Don't let
Justin
me.
Jefferson,
Of course,
Jamar Chase,
that wasn't it.
Tyreek Hill.
I agree with that.
Okay. CD is 4.
I take him over Chase.
Just based off playoff production and what he's done, you taking Chase over. You're always taking Chase over CD.
I mean, but at the end of the day, you got Dak Prescott as your quarterback in the playoffs. He plays like
So you
Dak.
got
He plays
Joe.
like Joe Burrow.
Okay,
No, Joe Burrow beat
no, you got
Patrick
Joe
Mahomes.
Burrow with no O line. I'm sorry, excuse me. You got Joe Burrow with no O line, and he's
No,
still.
what I'm saying is Joe Burrow shows up in the playoffs. CD Lamb as a quarterback doesn't show up. Now, granted, last year CD was dropping a lot of passes in that Packers game. And Dak, every
That
time he gets
Packers
in the
game.
playoffs, he
It
played
wasn't.
horrible.
It wasn't just that Packers game.
Yeah, that San Francisco game was an abysmal playoffs too.
Yeah, there's a
Um,
lot of games where CD has dropped critical passes. Like we love to blame Dak, of course, as the quarterback of America's team, as they call it, which I still wonder that to this day. It's not all Dak's fault. Like if he's
hmm.
throwing the ball in their hands and they drop it, whose fault is that?
Oh, it's definitely a receiver. But what I'm talking about is you
Exactly.
got a quarterback that throws pick six at the wrong times. I mean, there's really never no right time to throw a pick six. But it's just like some dude was trying to argue with me on Twitter the other day, or X, whatever you want to call it now. Was talking about how like I hate when people just pull up stats without having no like synopsis of the entire game. Like yeah, we could like somebody you could see somebody had 40 points, but if you watch the entire game, they was having 15 or 10 and a half. Then they got hot in that third or fourth quarter, and now like they had a great game based on the stats. The same thing with Dak. Like you look at the stats when he, I think, was about 300 yards in that Packers game, but that was in garbage time. Had a couple of touchdowns, but it was like during the shit mattered the most, he was playing like horseshit, and I need people to understand that. So,
Look,
uh,
In that Packers game, yes, he did play like crap. I'll be the first one. I'll say it too. But beginning of the game, he was throwing dimes to CD and all those receivers. He was throwing dimes. And then when he threw that first pick, that's when it went downhill for that. Like sometimes everybody wants to believe it starts with Dak and it ends with Dak. No, most of the time it usually starts with Dak. He throwing the ball to his receivers and they're dropping passes. You know what I'm saying? or they can't even
Mhm.
get off the line against good corners. It's like,
Yeah, because I'm thinking, but here's the thing: what I'm thinking, CD, if you want more, like I don't like you haven't put up numbers Justin Jefferson put up. Um, like Justin, what did he make? A 35 a year. Yeah, 33 would put you in second, right ahead of AJ Brown, who's at what 32, I think. Um, I kind of feel like that's reasonable, especially if you want you're getting paid top dollar for a receiver. You can always. Well, I mean, I guess not with Jerry Jones. You probably want to get it now because you don't know when the next time he's going to do extension talk because he's just stubborn.
I'll tell you this.
Uh, but
I'll
33 is definitely like a solid offer.
I'll tell you this. He ain't trying to sign. I also think he ain't trying to sign CD because he's trying to get Stephon Diggs after his 1 year deal with the Texans.
I wouldn't blame him.
Like that's what I really think is about what he trying to do.
Mm,
But if you're gonna pay a receiver, because you're gonna have to, well, since Stephon's on the down end of his career, you don't have to pay him as much. But he's still a high
hmm
productive receiver at the end of the day. I think that's what Jerry's trying to do. Do I think it's smart? No, because I'd rather just pay the young boy and give him his money because he's gonna have a better upside. Like he just CD just starting to hit his prime, you know? He's
Yeah, but here's the thing. Then you got to worry about Jerry. Got to worry about now. You got to worry about. That's why I don't understand why he waits until the last minute to sign these marquee guys. Now you got to worry about paying CD. Then you got Dak on his last year. Then you got Parsons coming up. It's like this is now I see why they couldn't go get Derrick Henry.
Here's the thing. Jerry Jerry's messing up. I really believe this as a GM in any sport, you need to have the initiative to set the market. You know what I'm saying? You should
hmm
set the market in any sport because if you set the market, technically you probably screwing over a lot of teams if you set the market on some price, especially if certain receivers, QBs, or anything. You have to set that market, and you have to be comfortable with that. Can it backfire? Because if you set the market on, let's say you set the market on somebody like they had, like, for example, if you did what the Giants did and you invested all your chips on Daniel Jones, then yeah, that's where it backfires. Because they technically did set the market that year they signed Daniel Jones to that contract. You should
Yeah,
set
which
the,
was insanity by Giants.
like, even with the Deshaun Watson
Yeah,
Cleveland.
you set the market so you. Mhm.
Like let's look at Cleveland, another one, because when they traded for Deshaun Watson, they set the market and everybody was like, dog, what are you doing? And Lamar Jackson sitting there looking at the Ravens like, hey man, he ain't done half the stuff I did. He ain't even got an MVP.
No, that's real.
Like you,
And it's like yeah,
I
now you put everybody else on watching. Now they got to scramble and
exactly, and you make panic around the NFL. I do believe as a GM, you set the market. You try to set that tone. If you have the opportunity either to re-sign a high-level athlete or sign somebody in free agents, see, hey, you set that market.
no for
Now,
real.
that
But
doesn't mean you just pay them like some crazy bread, but you set the market to where it's like, okay, we can do this over the future time. It makes sense.
yeah, but and it is like I'm looking at like because I think what CD has played what 66 games. Justin Jefferson had what 60 games he played in the NFL this far. I think he's killing him. He's still killing CD in the passing. I mean receiving yards, even playing six less games than he does. I think he has what CD has 32 receiving touchdowns to Justin's 30, and then Justin has 392 receptions to CD's 395. And again, he's played six less games because he got injured last season.
Yep.
So it's like
Still got
CD,
over
you
a
real
thousand yards too.
yeah, and it's like you really you like you and it's subpar and it definitely was subpar quarterbacks when Kirk Cousins went after Kirk Cousins went down. Um, like CD, I don't know how his agent is going to be able to work this deal out, but I'm like 33 is a solid offer. You're not, you're the guy you're trying to catch. He's six games less than you, and it's right on your number. So it's kind of like this probably the best is going to get me that 33 a year. Because I don't see it going any higher than that.
He need to take
Uh,
that. So here's the thing: is also too with these players. We also got to realize it's not so much how much they're making 33 a year. What's the guarantee money?
that's true too. Because
What
NFL
what is
pays
the
high.
guarantee money? And I'm pretty sure Jerry probably lowballing him on that too. What is that guaranteed money? But like, yeah, you'll get 33 a year, but I'm pretty sure in those years it's loaded with incentives. So really,
Yeah,
he might be getting 25. I'm just throwing that out there.
no, that's right. And so I think that's the thing. Then we can talk about all these injuries in Minnesota. Jordan Addison going down. JJ McCartney. You know how I feel about Michigan quarterbacks, but I actually like that kid.
They
Having to get
drafted
that.
a corner that they drafted a corner who got in an accident and passed
Sheesh.
away. Like it's a lot of stuff going on in Minnesota. And I actually feel bad for Justin Jefferson because now he's going through another year where he's like, dang, I want to win, but how can I?
Yeah, that's why I was shocked that he resigned that when they didn't have no good quarterback. I mean, JJ McCarthy could be a future potential solid quarterback, but
Where do you think
obviously,
he,
huh?
beside with no bias aside, where do you think he would have won?
Let's see. I'm trying to think of it. Let me look at some teams that needs desperately needs
I could tell
a
you a
star
team.
wide receiver.
I could tell you a team.
I could say Philly, and I hate to say
Oh
that.
no, he
Uh,
wasn't. He wasn't coming to Philly. Howie Roseman. That's gonna be the one draft day thing he forever live on his conscience. picking up Justin Rager instead of Justin Jefferson is is like the worst draft day pick ever.
yeah, that's why he got to redeem himself.
And
Let me look at teams. I can see a Kansas City.
I see the Bengals. I say a reunion.
I can see that, but
Because
I
here's the
I feel
thing:
like it would really for me.
they
I
will
don't feel
trade
like
T
it really
Higgins.
I mean,
They will trade T Higgins
yeah,
again.
but I think that would be the worst potential for them because they had a three-headed monster there. Well, Tyler Boyd's gone now, of course, but I just like I think that would be a bad decision to get rid of T Higgins. I mean, obviously you got Chase, Burrow, and Justin Jefferson back together, but I would want to keep T Higgins. I would offer like maybe a
Uh,
second and somebody else
you will have to trade T
and a
Higgins.
couple first.
You will have.
I'm
You
trying
will
to.
have
Oh,
you will have
also be a solid option for him if he wanted to have better quarterback play. Um, Indianapolis,
I would say Indy is a good one.
Baltimore.
See the
I
thing
mean, you
about
got Zay Flowers, but you got
the thing
you,
about Baltimore is just, and no offense to Lamar, I know he's
I know
throwing
what
a
you gotta
lot.
say.
I know he's throwing a lot, but man, I don't know how that works out with. I mean, at least you don't have to change his purple. At least purple stays the same. I think it would
Yeah.
be crazy, but I don't. I think you wouldn't see the whole route tree from Justin Jefferson because if you look at Baltimore's offense, it's
Mm-hmm.
predicated on the tight end going either short to medium and your wide receivers going deep.
Or you look at San Fran, they looking, the issue
Oh
with
God,
Ayuk.
no! Oh God, oh
No,
God!
that would be a crazy combo with him and Debo.
Brandon Ayuk would have to get traded at that point.
That's
Plus
what I
some.
say. Yeah. Ayuk would definitely have to go. Give a couple firsts. That would be a good team for him. Definitely a team in win now mode. Solid, not solid, but spectacular defense.
Oh, I agree.
Uh, you got a decent quarterback play in Purdy. Uh, got the run game with CMC. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Um, to me, that's an all around solid team if he's looking to win. But obviously he's young, want to get the money first. Understandable. So I feel like Sam Darnold as your quarterback scares the hell out of me. And I picked him in his best ball league, and I was kind of thinking to myself, I might
You
not should have
know,
done that.
the thing about Sam
It was
Darnold,
the second round though. It was like pick
he
19.
did
So
he did sit on the bench for the 49ers during that year.
mhm.
He I hope he actually was able to learn because I think when he came into the league, that was just a horrible draft of quarterbacks. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be honest. That Sam Darnold, I think Wilson, it was a pretty bad draft of
Yeah.
quarterbacks at that time. So with Sam Darnold having to be I think he was drafted to the Panthers, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that he was set up for failure. You go to the Panthers. The thing about the Panthers is they needed a number one pick, not a number 5 or 6. They had to be number one overall at the end of the day. And they got their number one overall. It's just that he's just super short and can't see over the lineman. But I don't think
Short,
Sam
yeah.
Darnold was the fit.
No, that's real.
So
But what else? Oh, go ahead.
nah, but shout out to Minnesota. They did sign Stephon Gilmore. Again, the Cowboys really missed out on having a three lockdown corners.
Yeah, but that's one thing I couldn't get a manager about because we already had limited cap space. We couldn't pay no point another $10 million deal when we got to get Dak, CeeDee, and Parsons under contract again. So, and especially with Bland, I mean, and then you got Diggs back. So, well, you can always get somebody a third corner in the draft. So, or one cheaper.
The only reason I said
So,
I would have paid another 1 year for Gilmore is because we don't know how Diggs is going to come back from the ACL. That's the only reason.
no, that's true. I definitely
Like
understand that.
that's why I would have paid. I wouldn't. I'm not saying pay Diggs 10 mil. I'd have been like, yo, I'll pay you another 1 year, and we'll go from there.
No, that's right. Let's see what else was.
RG3.
Oh yeah, RG3, my man, free RG3, man.
I mean,
Man got
he is.
fired.
I mean, technically, he is free.
Oh my goodness.
I'm all for that. Technically, he is free, but yo, what ESPN did, I'm not fully agreeing on it because like they fired a lot of people because of their tweets and comments on that. Oh, I feel like I get it. It didn't agree with company policies, but at the same time too, you guys are a sports media, and at the time nobody. So when they tweeted, obviously nobody had no idea that she suffers from a disease where I think she has like one extra X chromosome or stuff, so she has manly features and stuff, but she's a full-on woman.
Yeah.
Nobody knew. I don't think nobody knew. And that could be a mistake made by anybody until somebody releases that data, those facts about it, you know? Now, my thing is how the tweet was worded and how it was said. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I
Yeah,
know he did it in support of the woman. He did it in support of the woman.
yeah, it's like, because I'm thinking like when he was projecting on social media as if he like said something was like talking about her being transgender, but no, he was basically saying like she's not transgender, she was a full woman. Obviously again, ILC is probably LGBT, not LGBT, but just like discriminatory. And you can't. It's too. I feel like a lot of the time they try to, as soon as a woman is a lot of physical, they want to like try to label her as a woman if she shows any aggression. I mean, it's boxing.
I think
You're
it's
gonna have to show aggression.
I think it's interesting because I think they were trying to replace RG3 with somebody else.
Oh, of
Like
course.
like I have a feeling he was on Monday Night Football, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep. Monday Night Football Countdown. What
Guess what?
started 2022?
Guess what? We about to see Shannon Sharp on there.
Damn, they took out our brother to replace another brother. Sheesh.
No, that's what I feel like, and that's some stuff. I'm not saying ESPN, but Disney in general would do.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause Disney owns ESPN. So my whole thing is just like you replacing RG3, who is active on Twitter, very smart, and can relate to these young people for an older brother. Nothing against Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp is great at his analysis for the NFL and everything. Can he be a little bit outlandish? Yeah, but and does that factor sell? Yes, but I think RG3 minus his quirk, I'll call it quirks, being goofy and corny at the same time, he was entertaining to watch, and he came with some good facts, especially on College Game Day too. Like, who didn't want to see RG3 run out with the team?
Yeah, in fact, he definitely has some speed on him.
Yeah,
Yeah, got
everybody
them.
wanted to see it. It's like it's almost like they are looking for ESPN. They're almost looking for, hey, you got to have a certain amount of following. If you don't have that following, then you got to
Yeah,
get
he in the
out.
group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to get out. And it's messed up because it's like then you get to a point where what happens when you get when people start being like, well, I don't want to be at ESPN if I can't be myself. And then they have
Mm-hmm.
a large following. You have to build up talent too. I'm all for building up talent. I actually like what Fox is doing with Nick Wright because Skip is out of there. They're building up talent.
Yeah,
They're
I
actually
can't stand it right now.
they're building, and like I can't stand them either, but they're building. Like I'm gonna be honest, I can't stand half of the people at Fox. Paul Pierce talking about sports. Nah, man, because it's always Celtics bias, you know.
That's
So,
right.
and Keyshawn is LA bias, but at the end of the day, they're trying to build up that talent. Now, are they doing on Undisputed? Are they doing a lot of shock factor stuff? Yes. But first things first, they actually talking. They actually talking some good sports, except for when Nick Wright starts glazing over LeBron. That's a whole different story. But
Yeah,
they actually talk their sports, and
no,
they actually try to come up with like saying the right stuff and doing the right thing. But not everything's gonna be perfect. But I like how Fox is building up talent for the future. So that way
hmm
they be like, hey, we build up talent.
no, that's good. What else? What else? It's just good to see WNBA back.
Yes.
Um,
I'm
Caitlin
not gonna
Clark went
lie.
off the other day.
We saw Caitlin Clark how she would look if she actually had an off season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
because
she come out there a
like
demon
she
time.
actually if she actually had an off season, not coming straight from the draft, not coming from the college championship to the draft. She had an off season. That whole Olympic, oh, she's hooping.
Yeah, but she put up 29 and 10 and 5 against the Mercury the other day.
Oh, that was all
Well,
every stat was towards Diana Taurasi.
oh yeah, she took that personal.
Yeah, that was all personal to Diana Taurasi and then Sue Bird.
What happened with Super? She said something
Oh,
crazy
that's
about her?
because of that. Remember during the championship when they played UConn and they start shit because she beat UConn, they start kind of trashing her.
Oh yeah,
Her
you gotta love the old UConn faithful.
and people people keep bookmarks. They remember. And Caitlin obviously remembered and was like, "Oh, you made the Olympic team, but sat on the bench on the gold medal game. I could have done that. It would have been
I
more
mean,
me."
she had 6 of them. I mean, Taraz. I mean, I know everybody's saying Kayla probably took that spot, but this probably was Taraz who has run. Uh,
Do
and
we
she
know
handled
that
it
was
gracefully,
Taurasi
professional.
last run? It's
I
obviously
think it is. We see the age is catching up to her slowly
oh,
but
it's
surely.
definitely catching up to her because she could barely move in the Olympic Games when she played.
Yeah, but she brings that
She
dog in her. So Kayla gonna have her time.
Asia Wilson carried the team on her back.
I would say I know. I mean, she did, but Stewie did her thing, and then Copper definitely carried him in that champion that gold medal game.
But my whole thing is like
Because Asia was missing a lot of
like you
layups.
said, WNBA back. Angel Reese might have had a little bit too much fun in her first game back. She might have had a little bit too much fun in that break, but she'll be back to it. You know.
Yeah. What else? Trying to think. WNBA playoffs about to start for fantasy next week.
I think we all know who's going to win the WNBA play. Who's going to be in the WNBA finals?
Who you got?
It's going to be the Liberty versus the Aces. Like,
Mm, okay, okay. I think Liberty falls this year.
man, Sabrina
Plot
and
twist.
Stewie are hooping.
Oh, they are. They played definitely pretty well in the Olympics. But I don't know, man. If I'm a Mercury fan. If they can. If BG can, she put like that first game back when she played Indiana, like well, not first game, but they had that back to back, and she was a little bit tired. Probably that lag of playing in the Olympics, probably not really having too much rest time. So hopefully they get back on track. Minnesota is a strong contender. I don't think they go, but so far in the playoffs, young team. Well, I'm definitely looking at Phoenix, and you got that 4-5 matchup with Seattle
I,
and Las Vegas, even though
I
they're about
did
2
forget
games
about
away from third.
Seattle has been hooping and Minnesota has been doing great too, but I just don't see, I really just see it as honestly to the Liberty versus the Aces. Like
Oh, it's definitely gonna be the Aces, but the other team is I don't. I mean, I like the Liberty, but I feel like we'll see. Connecticut definitely got a chip on their shoulder from losing to them constantly all the time. They probably won't see them again until the actual finals if they get there because they're a solid 2 seed right now. Um,
let's talk about who's gonna be in the running for Juju.
I don't know. Question. It's got to be
Well,
the
really in the
Washington
running for
Mystics.
really in the running
Oh,
for
but yeah, Page.
okay.
I think Page falls either with Washington. I don't see Dallas taking her because they got Enrique. Uh, let's see. LA could potentially get them if depending on if they keep losing because they only like a game or a half game ahead of Washington. So if I was LA, I would keep losing so you can have Paige with Brink and Rakia Jackson, which I think is a solid to be a solid team. And Zia Cook. Um, yeah.
I mean, it is solid. I agree. I think that is a solid team. Um, I think I just don't. I think we about to see another three-peat.
Oh, I can see. I could definitely see that happening because only team I see that matches up with them physicality wise is Mercury, and they picking like obviously Tarasi's getting older, so that would be a nightmare with her with Gray and Jackie Young. But
Barbie,
she always shows up. She always shows up
barbecue
when it matters
chicken,
most. So I think she'll probably fight through at the age and get to it.
barbecue chicken,
Then you got
barbecue,
Grinder down low that can slow down Asia. So um, but one thing
barbecue.
we saw in the no, because I mean one thing we saw in the Olympics when they played France, that physicality had Asia missing a whole lot of layups. PG definitely bring a whole lot of physicality, um, which can definitely disrupt Asia getting those layups to get her. I like to call them rhythm layups and jumpers that gets her in rhythm, score consistently. I'm trying to see another team that can give the Aces any problems they would want to see. Connecticut is a little physical, but I feel like they won't. They don't have that deep playoff run, so that could be their issue. But I think if the Aces don't get to that three spot, they will have to see New York in the second round.
Ooh, you saying see New York in the second round? Okay.
Yeah, 'cause they're the five seed right now. They're 2 games from third, which isn't far away, of course. But and they actually play Minnesota next Wednesday, so that's a pivotal game, crucial game for them. When they play it at home, so that should be a no brainer for them. And they play them again that Friday, so that's 2 games just close the gap right there. We'll see what they take advantage of that opportunity or if they fall on the butts. But I think they win those. Well, I know for sure they win the one in Las Vegas. Depends on how they play in Minnesota. Depends on that one. I like Kayla McBride and Nafisa Collier. So solid team. But we'll see what they do. Um, I'm just ready. I'm just glad WNBA fantasy playoffs about to start, so I can go try to repeat in this one league, or in our league, the Bog Access 1-on-1 league, and try to three-peat in another league, and then win for the first time in the third one.
Hey, all power to you. I can't. Um, of course, I say my disclaimer. I can't bet on any type of basketball whatsoever. So, all power to y'all.
Good answer, brother.
Can't.
But yeah, did you want to add anything else?
Oh man, it's almost fantasy season. That's all I gotta say. It's on fantasy football season.
Boy,
Coming down, saving my coins to get ready to start try to win it all. Trying to be like Thanos this year. Collect all the gems, all the
you know,
infinity stones.
you compete for second in our league, buddy.
Got me messed up.
We can put a wager. Didn't we put a wager down? I can't remember.
I think we put 20 bucks.
Okay, well, fair enough.
And we put a cool 20. See who finished better.
It's a good Philly cheesesteak.
I mean, true. Hey, my mom's up in Philly right now too, so I'm getting a Philly cheesesteak when she come back. I can't
That's
wait.
right. Cause she be bringing she be getting the Rita's water rice too, don't she? She bring it home.
Yeah, but I
Legendary.
can't wait. About to be
What
over
she be
at the
putting that joint
house.
like a cool like the hot and cold bag, or she bring like a cooler or something?
She bring like a cooler. About to
Come on.
be at the about to be at the crib. Be like, hey, I need that.
Yeah, fact.
I need my cheesesteak. I gotta do it. The only reason, so I know everybody says you put. Here's the thing, with a good cheesesteak, I do the cheese whiz only because provolone does not taste good to me warm back up. You know, because
That's
she
a
is.
fair reason.
You know.
Mhm.
Now, if I'm in Philly and I can eat it right there, heck yeah, put the provolone cheese on that joint. I'll be happy. But when it's
No,
coming back, you got to put the cheese whiz because at least the cheese whiz tastes good warm back up. Provolone to me does not taste good when you got to warm it back up.
that's right. But yeah, man, appreciate you coming out, brother.
Always, man. It's always for the team. So, trying trying to, get insight. I gotta do some mock drafts today and do some work. But hey, just wait. You're gonna see. I'm gonna be
All
ready.
right, all right, man. Appreciate you coming on.
All right.
and give your donation to Fancy.
Yeah, go ahead and donate to me. I'm gonna be Thanos in this
Yeah,
year's
oh boy.
fantasy league. About to be collecting all the Infinity Rings. Smoke y'all out.
All
All
right,
right.
I'll see you, bro.
All right. Talk to you later.
Peace.
Peace.